In a heartwarming tale of bravery and compassion, this is the story of Joshua, a young boy who risked it all to save a suffocating dog and found his dreams coming true. Meet Joshua, a boy who always yearned for a dog but couldn't afford one. Undeterred, he found solace in volunteering at a local animal shelter, where his love for these furry companions only grew stronger. This boy broke a car window to save a suffocating dog. The next day, he is in the court. Joshua always wanted a dog, but his family couldn't afford it. Joshua's mother always said no firmly, but he soon found a way out. Joshua began volunteering at a local animal shelter. He could cuddle his furry friends all day in his spare time away from school, and it strengthens the idea that these funny four-legged creatures are very cute. But caring for them is difficult and even physically difficult. With all the brushing, bathing when necessary, and cleaning the cages and the aviary, he had to stop at the veterinary drugstore on his way to the shelter that day to get the necessary medicine for his friends. And as he gripped the doorknob, he heard a pitiful sound from somewhere, almost like crying. He looked around, but the street was deserted. But Joshua pulled a tight apothecary door toward him. The sound was an NOL, and now there was no doubt. A dog was whining from where a polished new white SUV was shining not far away, and the dog's whine could only come from it. He was sure of that as soon as he reached the back door, behind which the dog was breathing, hanging out against the glass with both forepaws. And the sound of that breathing was audible up close, even through the tightly shut door. Joshua was really worried because he thought about how terrible it would be for a dog to be trapped inside a car under the scorching sun. He tried to set off the car alarm by kicking the doors of the car, hoping someone would come and rescue the dog. But unfortunately, the owner of the car didn't show up. Joshua noticed a big rock lying on the grass nearby. He decided to use it to break the car window. He threw the rock at the window and it shattered into pieces. Joshua reached inside through the broken window, unlocked the car door, and quickly grabbed the dog. The dog was all sweaty from the heat. Joshua carried the dog in his arms and ran to a shelter nearby. When they arrived, the doctor at the shelter examined the dog to make sure it was okay. After hearing Joshua's story about what happened, the doctor said, "You came at just the right time, Joshua. Another half hour and your rescued one's heart would have stopped. Just one thing, go back there and call the cops, because you never know." Veteran said the vet's worry was understandable. The owner of the angry Jeep was running around his property and saying mean things. The police were also there. But Joshua went up to the policeman and explained what had happened. The dog and Jeep owners were shouting threats, but Joshua was brave. The serious-looking policeman wrote down information about both of them and took them to different places, separating them at home. Joshua told his mother everything, and she grabbed her heart and said, "Son, we'll never pay off that car repairs. People like that are bound to take things to court." Mom was worried and upset Joshua, and thus Mama, as his legal representative, received a subpoena a few days later. Joshua's family, on the other hand, was provided with a state-funded lawyer who handled the case expertly. The first thing he did was tell Joshua and his mother to go to the veterinary pharmacy, which had cameras installed above the canopy of the security agency under whose protection they were. The establishment was located. The owner of the Jeep claimed that the broken window happened when they were only 5 minutes away from the vehicle. However, the boy Joshua had been looking for the owner for 15 minutes, and video footage showed the owner and the dog being away from the car for an hour. It's important to remember that the temperature outside was around 30 degrees Celsius, which is extremely hot, and that it was even hotter inside the car, reaching more than 45 degrees Celsius. When the court saw the video recording, they realized what had happened was true. The owner of the Jeep was not compensated for the broken window. The court took the dog away from its owner and placed it in the same shelter where Joshua had been volunteering. The owner of the Jeep had acted incorrectly and irresponsibly. Joshua only needed to talk to his mother about bringing the dog home. He'd asked her before, but she'd always said no. This time, Joshua explained that it appeared to be a special opportunity provided by God. His mother was concerned about the costs and time required to care for a dog, especially since Joshua needed to focus on his studies. However, something miraculous occurred to resolve the issue. Joshua received a scholarship from the shelter where he volunteered, as well as specialized dog food. This way, the dog could still be cared for at the shelter. While not putting a financial strain on Joshua's family, Joshua's mother eventually agreed to take the dog home. Justice was served in every way. The owner of the Jeep was punished. Joshua's dream of having a dog came true, and the court made fair decision. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe for more uplifting stories. Until next time, stay compassionate and spread love to our furry friends.